Hi traders, I'm looking at the Dow on the weekly chart here and doing my weekly preparation. What I'm seeing is a breakdown of this channel. So 2 weeks of heavy selling, a week of selling punctuated by a bounce at the end of the week. What I think will happen is I suspect we're going to get symmetry of August-September 2011 where we broke a little channel here, put in a hammer, a weekly hammer, and we moved sideways until mid-September, when we pushed up into resistance areas. That's what I'm looking for here. I think we'll move sideways, and I think we might get a little push into the last quarter, at which point I think we may struggle and potentially roll over. There's just a scenario at the moment. So short term, I'm looking for sideways action and a potential to test 16,000, the big number on options expiring next Friday, and at which point that will lead us possibly into a little bit of a bounce into as we head towards September. Okay, but Monday's bar will be crucial. Let's look at the last couple of Mondays and I'll explain why I think that's so important. This was a Monday's bar there. I boxed that one. So on the Monday we held the 50 EMA. On the Tuesday we narrowly closed below it. On Wednesday we pulled back and then dropped. So that range on that Monday was most important. If I now get the other one up, and we had a situation here where we were looking very toppy. That was the Monday for that particular week. That's the open and close for that particular week. We spent Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in that same Monday range, and on the Friday closed underneath it, and the following week pulled back to it and then dropped. So Monday's range is going to be crucial. I think we will sit around this area here on Monday, close higher, and can get a full retrace, potential full retrace to the 50. We sit inside this area here. I think we've got the potential to come and retest the 16,000 down there at that support for options expiry, because looking at the data, we have federal budget, very little on Monday. It's very quiet on Monday. We have the federal budget in 2 hours before the close in the US markets on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we have US retail sales expected to be weaker. Thursday we've got the weekly jobs figure, and then Friday we have consumer confidence half an hour after the session's open. So not a lot of data. It's not that busy this week, but what data is coming out is expected to be weaker. So, however, for the bulls, this was a new low in this run, and that was a close above on Friday. So it was significant on Friday. Let's now go back to the weekly a moment, because I want to show you where I think the fibs are sit. So if my scenario pans out, this is where I think the fibs will sit. I think the fibs will actually sit at the base of this period I've just talked about in 2011, summer 2011. Because the reason why I like it is because I like to get fibs to fit. If I can see a fibs levels working, then I will stick to that fibs, and you can see how that steps up and so on. So for this to work out, I would expect to see that level there. I expect a full retest of the 50%, and if this market is just going to have a sort of 12-18 month retrace after a 5.5 year run, which is the normal sort of cycle, then this is the area I'd look for it to hold 13,750, which is a 20% roughly area from these highs up here, and that would give us the potential to then go and move to break those highs and then go and test 19,000 and 20,000 over the next, so 2016, 2017, etc. Alright, so that's just a scenario. That is just a scenario. So we could, well, go and retest the 50 EMA and the monthly pivot up there around about the 750 area if we get any real push into resistance. But if we just end up moving sideways and we can't continue the higher close that we had on Friday, then I expect some sideways action and a dip down. Okay, so Monday's close will be critical and have a major influence on how I trade for the rest of that week. That's the fibs. That's how I've got the fibs on the daily chart at the moment. So 50% will put it just under that monthly pivot. Right, let's look at other markets. I think let's just stick to the pound and the euro for now. Pound. This is the fibs on that range at the moment, and let's go to the weekly first. So a lot of selling second half of last week. Fibs on the weekly puts major support down there at 166.45 and the weekly 50 down there at 165.50. 4 weeks of selling, so 5 weeks of selling. A bit of a stopping bar there in the weekly on a monthly pivot. So if we start closing above 168 on the daily, then I'd expect to get higher. 168 is a major area of resistance on the daily, and that could well see that dropping. So if that continues, the trend is most definitely down. Very few blue bars over the last 3 weeks. The resistance area now is 168, and that would bring us right back down to 167. And 165 could see us at the back end of the week for options expiry on 127 extension. That would be just dipping under the 127 extension down to support down there at 165. Okay. The only thing I would say on that pound is we are low RSI, and we've got a lot of localized support. So shorting when an instrument is lower probability, but that 168 is major resistance. Best plan I should say, is to wait for the Monday close. And the daily on the pound yen, we're just closed on the monthly S2, monthly S3. It put us just under the 170 at 169.50. And on the weekly, sitting on a trend line, but with support down there at 168.50. We're still some way away from 50 EMA, so that, these markets do like to go and test the 50 EMA. Euro, I'm not encouraged by this hammer-like bar. At best case scenario, I think we might come and retest 135, which is 90 points higher. At which stage, once we've broken a trend line like this, we can sometimes kiss it. Otherwise, end of the week, I'm looking for 132, 131.50, possibly lower on the euro. And the euro yen, same story. We're sitting on the 50 EMA on that. There's a hammer-like bar on the 50 EMA, but it's a lower close. So the daily is actually a reversal pattern, but we're not closed above the 8. So I'm still bearish on the euro. Sitting on all the support over here from February, but this is most definitely a very clear downtrend, and we've hit the bottom of tested the bottom of the channel. I'm not looking for that to pull up, although that is support and that is a reversal pattern, so I could easily be proved wrong. Hence the reason why I guess you're gonna know what I'm going to say next. I'm going to wait until Monday's close. Oops. And let's move across to a few commodities and then we'll leave it there. By the way, I am doing a completely separate video for the stocks, and there's a stock club. If you want to join that, you need to let me know, and I will let you have the very, very modest subscription charges to that. Right, silver is not holding up, so I am leaving it. The gold, I still don't trust. If we come down to 12.92 again, I will buy. That's a reversal bar. We've crashed into top of the fib zones within this fib range, so that could get lower. The dollar is strong. Beans look as if they want to go and retest 11 bucks, but they can trend quite well. I need to show the continuous contract on that, and I haven't got that on this chart. Let's just look at oil. Incredibly weak. Highs are selling. The indicators are low. This RSI and this stochastic is low, but it's just not doing it. I would just stay away. Again, you can see how once we broke this trend, any pullbacks are sold into. This is what I'm looking for in the Euro US. Yeah, once we've broken the trend in the Euro US, we've put in a couple of weekly hammers, but I don't trust them. I think any high that they get sold into, like this oil, and I think the Euro US could end up easily looking like that chart. Okay, I'm looking for symmetry between the Euro US and the way in which that oil looks. Right, I'm going to go over to do the membership for the stock club. If you want to join that, let me know. Otherwise, I am unlikely to do Traders Roundtable tomorrow night because I have to visit my mother in hospital who has a new hip. So I will do a recording and publish that and let you see that. Otherwise, all your feedback is welcome. See you soon. Thanks.